bioengineering, biotechnology. And under the Interstate Commerce Clause of the Constitution, Congress has the opportunity to try to prevent disruptions in flow of commerce across 50 states.
Congress?
Yes.
Federal?
Congress.
Federal.
Congress. Wait, hang on. Congress has the opportunity to set the other place. So having a Texas label, having a Oklahoma label, having a New Hampshire label is unworkable.
I just built a chicken coop, and it had on every sheet of plywood, the state of California says this will give you cancer. So why can't the state of Texas say, you know what, this is a GM product?
Because
you let it do for the chicken coop, but not for the food we're going to eat.
No, hang on a second. With respect to genetically modified organisms, we need one standard for what it is and isn't. 50 state standards for what it is or what it isn't would be confusing to consumers, because you're not necessarily going to get the same standard in all states. The program we set up under this bill that hasn't gone to the Senate, that I sponsored and voted for and spoke on the floor for, I moved it through the Ag Committee, sets up, like we have with organic foods, a voluntary program that says USDA set a standard for what is GMO and what is by definition what is a GMO-free product, and then let the retailers and others who think they want to use that label, as they do with organic, the American people then can trust it, because then you buy something, go to the store, whether that is anywhere in the United States, you pick up the product and it has GMO-free or GMO in it, then you as a consumer can trust it to the extent that the USDA does this properly.
So you're in favor of this labeling?
Yes.
Give us a time scale as to when you're going to enforce this.
Well, it's already gone across the House floor. We're waiting for Senate action, and then we would have to, the Senate's probably going to pass the exact same bill. We'd then go to conference with those two, and if we can pass it there, then send it to the House. But the time frame is of the essence, because Vermont has a state-based rule that's going into effect on January 1st. And having individual states do this would be too disruptive to interstate commerce to let it happen. So we need a standard for what is and isn't GMO, and that way consumers can rely on it. Whether you buy a product that was bottled or produced in any state, if you look at the label, just like you do with organic, you don't necessarily, when you look at an organic product and you buy it, you don't see which state it came from necessarily, because you trust the organic. You're not trusting California's organic label, you're trusting the USDA organic label. That is not a food safety issue. This is simply a marketing tool or a marketing issue that consumers want to know of this information. Now,
GMOs are a food safety issue.
No,
GMOs are a safety factor.
Where's your proof?
Huh? The proof that says they can put anything mechanically into a product.
Well,
No, that's not.
The burden of proof rests with the companies that are creating.
Yeah, you want to give me this? Let me decide for myself whether it is.
Exactly. That's why we need a label. That's why we need a
A
label.
voluntary label?
Well, if you as a consumer demand it, it will happen. Just as you as consumers.
But that's what this bill is.
For what you as consumers demanded organics, and you're getting it.
What is the hold up?
No, that's
any product where there's enough demand for organics, you've got a company out there that's doing that, because guess what? You're paying higher prices for organic food, and there's no difference in the nutritional value for an organic product versus a non-organic product. It's just
On biological basis, everything.
That is entirely scientific.
I have a question for you.
Sir?
I have a question for you, sir. Didn't in June, around the 11th of June, did you not come to the floor of the House and introduce a bill? You introduced it, set to do away with label of origin of country on the food stuff.
No.
On the meats.
On beef, pork, and chicken.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, on the meats.
Right.
Do you think that was very pro-Texas?
That you are taking the label of origin off the meats.
Yes.
Why?
Not for me.
Hang on.
How does that help?
Hang on a second. One, it's a marketing tool. It is not a food safety issue. It's simply marketing. It came about.
It is a food safety.
Safety. If we feel that it's a safety
It is
issue.
Are you saying standards in other countries are better than ours or the same as ours?
The government to tell us whether or not it's safe or not. It relies on us to decide for
All we're asking for
ourselves.
is information.
I got you.
Definitely a food safety
And
issue.
hang on.
It's a
How many
result
of-
of trade policy.
How many of you ate at a restaurant at lunch? How many of you checked the country of origin labeling on the meat that you ate at lunch?
Me,
At the
us,
restaurant?
yeah, because
No,
we
you
have food
didn't.
allergies and we check everything.
No, you didn't check the country of origin labeling.
No.
Because There is no country of origin labeling on restaurant food.
But he
Then
did
why
check
is
the
your-
label.
I got that.
And if that label was there, we would check everything.
I know.
Oh, look, it's organic. Oh, look, it's not GM.
There's
Oh,
no
look,
requirement,
it's from
there's no
Mexico.
requirement.
It's
to
a trade
make-
policy.
There's
It's
no-
a trade policy that are forcing that countries and corporations can now sue us. And we as taxpayers pay them for loss of economic opportunity. And if TPP...
I don't mind the little
passes-
tariffs on my meat, but I want to know the nation of origin where it comes from.
If
I don't want
TPP
any
passes,
chicken
we're
from
going to
China.
have no say at all.
American companies are already labeling it the European Union, so what is the problem here?
Smithfield Hams is just bought out, been bought out by the Chinese.
Yeah, they're still required to, all right. We are a signature to the World Trade Organization, period. That's a fact. When the country of origin labeling issue arose coming out of the 2008 Farm Bill, Canada and Mexico, two of our largest trading partners, sued us over the country of origin labeling issue and won the lawsuit, saying that is trade distorting, it's not appropriate for the way the WTO agreements are, and so you have to do away with it. We appealed, and we lost. So then we went through and changed the label. We then put the label on there, born, raised, and processed. And Canada and Mexico said, nope, that's not good enough. They went and sued us again. They won. We appealed, and we lost. So we've lost 4 times on this issue. Now, the remedy, we can stay out of compliance, but the remedy is that China and Mexico begin to input retaliatory measures against products that we grow and make in the United States, ship into Canada, as an example. Wine, which Canada imports about 90% of its table wine from the United States. That's a big deal. They can put a 700% tariff on that wine going into Canada, which will make it unsellable in Canada. Pork rinds produced out of New Mexico, which are really popular in Mexico, can put a tariff there. It's not limited to tariffs on food. It's not limited to tariffs on meat. It's anything they want to pick can raise the price of those deals. And so it doesn't make any sense for a non-food safety issue. And I hear your emotions on this issue, and I know your intuition, but there's no scientific evidence that it's a food safety.
We're not buying that.
Well,
We're not
no,
buying it.
there
We
is
don't
scientific
believe you.
evidence.
That's not a credible answer.
Okay.
What if
Well,
you drop-
The
if you-
herbicides that those GMO crops demand
No,
are
no, that's
poisoning the land.
That's different.
The
Those separate.
herbicides go right together with the GMOs. You
Yeah,
have to have the herbicides
exactly
to
the
We're talking
make
about,
it.
we're talking about cool, country of origin labeling. We're not talking about GMOs.
We feel it's the
Well,
same
that's the
issue.
same thing.
It's
We
food
want all the
safety.
info on our label.
Safety.
We want all of the information on our label, whether
One of the
it's
things that we're-
GM,
one
whether
of-
it's from a
one of
different
the
And
things
we
country.
also need sovereignty. We need U.S. sovereignty, and we
Yes.
lost it to the corporations.
Yes.
No, we lost it to the government of Canada and to the government of
we lost
Mexico.
The U.S. is big enough where they don't have to lose anything to anybody.
And how much beef does the government of Canada produce?
It's
None.
not beef, they're not,
It's
a lot.
corporations
A
there
lot.
that's
No, no,
producing
no,
the
these are
food.
beef.
It's not the government of Canada.
Well, okay. We are not going to make a lot of
And
progress.
corporations can sue.
Hang us on.
And there's tribunals that are of non-elected people that meet in secret and determine whether or not we as taxpayers will pay.
Well, that's kind of my point. Cargill, Monsanto, Pioneer, I'm a botanist by trade. I write science. I have toured 2 of those 3 labs myself and seen where they produce GM. Some of it safe, some of it not. But the problem is if you don't restrict this labeling, who knows, 4 years from now they may come up with something that's absolutely not safe and we won't know it. We can't trust the
Well,
FDA.
first
You
off-
don't work for those
first
corporations.
off,
You work for
I
the
got you.
individuals here.
First off, they don't get to bring those to the market without going through FDA.
Which they've already proven as a fraudulent organization.
For how long
Right.
did
You
the
can't
government
trust-
put its stamp on
What about
asbestos
alfalfa?
before?
Yeah.
Did they test that?
Okay.
The FDA doesn't test.
Here's the
They
deal.
haven't asked the corporations that are producing the product to do the test.
If they do test it.
We just want to know. We want to see what's on our label, and you are part of the problem of standing against it.
Why are
You
you
said you were
still-
against federal government, but yet you're standing for federal government against us.
Why are you
How can
still
you-
opposed to us
How can
knowing
you
what's in our
say that
food?
anything we put inside our body is not a safety issue?
Yeah.
It is a safety issue in the sense that
But
we
you
want...
said it wasn't.
Well, distinguishing between country boards and labeling